Hello, welcome to another episode of Hanging with Dead Guys. Today we're at St. Mary the Virgin's Church in Bowdon, Cheshire. It's near Altrincham and Hell, just south of Manchester. Today I got two effigies that we'll look up. I originally came over to see Sir William Baggily. He's an effigy based Edward I period. He's got some interesting things about him, but also I was lucky enough to find another effigy, which is much earlier, and they believe it's possibly of Hamon Massey, the last Baron of Dunham. So this is a very much earlier one. It's very stylized in lots of ways, and we'll go through that and visit him for a while, and then we'll go on to visit Sir William and talk about him. He's got some interesting articles about him that is quite unusual, so I'll enjoy that. Well, we'll enjoy that. We'll see. Here, let me flip this around and we'll get going. Okay, this is what they believe is Hamon Massey, the last Baron of Dunham. Anyways, it's hard to date on this. I see an arch that's over his head, but I tend to think it's like either late 12th or early 13th century on here. It's a very plain effigy. It's worn quite a bit. It's been outside, but it's kind of like the style of the face makes me think it's an earlier Anglo-Saxon type carving. Some of the things you have that are interesting in here is that you definitely have some spur straps on here that you can see, and he's wearing spurs. You don't see any carving of mail or anything like that, but he is wearing a sword. This has been broken into sections, unfortunately. It doesn't look like he's wearing mail mittens or any kind of mittens at all. He is wearing a long, voluminous type surcoat, carrying a sword, no indication of a goose strap or anything like that. But here's the face of him right now, which reminds me of some certain Anglo-Saxon carvings that I've seen, but it definitely doesn't have a Gothic type arch above his head. Anyways, this is who they believe is Hamon Massey, last Baron of Dunham. Now let's go over to Sir William Baggily. Okay, this is effigy of Sir William. He's actually fairly massive effigy. So, in a lot of ways, he's fairly large, very long of leg. Starting at the bottom end, he doesn't have crossed legs like you see in most Crusaders or early 14th century. He has very full knee. They're rounded. They don't look like there's any angling or into them, but you can see the lines of the carving will actually go all the way down. So it looks like the artist is showing that they had a full wrap, pretty much. It looks like that there's some evidence of rectangular plates down here. I'm not sure if that's indicative of mail or not. You can't really see very good in the video because of the light. But on the top part, you don't really see any of that. So it's very possible that this could have worn away. Let's go on the other side, which has a little bit more light. You don't quite see it, but it is a little bit more weathered looking. So as you can see right here, he's got a very full surcoat. It goes around, and then he's got a dagger hanging from the strap. It's probably overall the length of my forearm upstretched. Has an odd-shaped pommel stone on the dagger, and it's hanging from a strap on the belt. Doesn't appear like there's a belt at all. There's this one item which kind of gives me cause for concern. It could be like a little pommel stone or whatever that hangs from the dagger, or whatever, with a brush or puff on the end of it to kind of give it some sign, or it could be indicative of something else. I'm not sure. Says the hands are clasped on the effigy, and also you see the arms. Notice again, see it's a brown coloration. It's been stained or colored or protected at some point, but basically you can see some chips in that. Here's an interesting point in this particular effigy here. One of the many interesting points is he has a oval-shaped spalder which covers the point of his shoulder. It doesn't see any indications of straps or anything like that, but he does have a definite shoulder defense. Going on to the other side, you see it somewhere else, but it looks like it's smaller and more vestigial. I don't know if this is because it was actually that case, or the guy done got confused when they were carving it or whatever. Another unusual point about this particular effigy is the shape of the shield. It is not a heater shape. In fact, it's more like a wing shape. It actually resembles jousting shields from quite a bit earlier. Sorry, not earlier, later in period. Or kind of a reversed or an odd-shaped hussar shield. Going up here, now here's some of the really neat things about this particular effigy is it's very stylized on the face. You can see the face. Okay, very simplistic in design. Now, here we go. As we look in this, it looks like the effigy. Oh God, you can't tell in this light. We'll go to the other side, but anyways, he definitely has a helmet made out of scales with a strong ridge and possibly a nasal. And we'll go around here on the other side. Hopefully we'll see this better. So, pardon the jiggling, but you can definitely see there's a strong cheek plate and a neck apron there. And then you have like a reinforced brow ridge. So this is all done in like little rectangular shapes, as you can kind of indicate through the image of that. And of course it's got what looks like a contiguous brow ridge. At first you thought this was maybe like the strap that happened with the great helms or whatever like that, but it's like, I noticed, and I was thinking that originally it was a camel that was kind of done. It could be a representation of Mel, because I've seen some rectangular look shapes on the leg. However, it doesn't cover the full part of the leg, so I don't think we'll ever know. So it could be stylized chain, it could be scales, actually, and I'm leaning towards scales because this is definitely a helmet shape with cheek plates and a back plate, and then of course probably a solid iron hoop for the brow ridge and what looks like to be a nasal. At first I thought that it was probably a stylized nose because you got the big round eyes expression, but now I'm kind of thinking, based on the helmet being helmet shaped, that this is more indicative of a nasal. Go back from this angle on the cheek plate, you can actually see the rectangular patterning better. Then you can see actually it terminates into the cheek plate. Here it terminates and comes back up, and then you got your back plate there. So this is a very unique part of this. His arms are very prominently displayed in multiple cases. And of course he's got a long full coat, surcoat with a center stripe up the middle, not a